Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another episode of The Complete Guide to Marvel Rivals. If you don't know already, my name is Cureless. I am a Peak Eternity player and continue to play the game to this day. It's nice to meet you. Every single day, I'm going to be making another episode talking about another high-level concept in Marvel Rivals. My overall goal is to help people become more confident in their overall gameplay and achieve their next peak rank. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so on screen now, I'm going to put up the complete lesson guide. So if you guys ever want to look over any certain video, I highly recommend lesson 9, by the way. If you ever want to look at any certain video, you should look on screen and then you can go and check it out. Alright, enough with the intro. I got a video, or not a video, I got a comment of someone saying that I sound very monotone, and I'm not trying to sound monotone for you guys. I don't want to be boring. I want these videos to be professional though, so I am going to do a little bit of the slideshow format that I've done previously, but I'm also going to have some gameplay for you, and I'm not going to be relying on my notes as much, so hopefully that will help. Let me know in the comments if it does sound better and you guys aren't as bored. But I do want you guys to use the videos for educational purposes, but I also want you guys to like the videos and not have to just wait through them. So yeah, just let me know in the comments if this is better or not. Yeah. So in total, in part 2, we've learned who to attack, we've learned how to win a fight, and we've also learned when we should actually fight. But today, we're going to be talking more about how to put all those things together, and we're kind of going to go in a transition of fight planning, and every single team fight should begin with a plan. Even if it's just like a really simple one, you should always walk in knowing something. So in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about fight planning. And fight planning is kind of consisting of planning your fight before it begins, your exit strategies, and your backup plans. So let's get into it. So fight planning is deciding how your team actually wants to approach the fight before the next fight even begins. So something I want to note is that the good players are able to react, but the best players can already imagine what's coming. So they already know what's going to happen, so they're already prepared for it to happen. So it makes it easier for them to react, you know? So fight planning actually answers like a big couple of questions. Some of the questions, like obviously, is like, how do we win this fight? Maybe even who are we focusing? Where do we want to fight? When do we engage? Or what happens if our first plan fails? It kind of answers all those questions, so you always have a plan in your head and your team is always on the same page and what you're doing. So step 1 is actually going to be for you to identify your win condition and say it to your team so your team understands what your win condition is. So like an example would be like the dive team would go dive and kill the support, or the poke team is going to force out cooldowns, a bunch of cooldowns before even committing, or the brawl team is just going to stay together. Everyone's going to combine their abilities. Like maybe you guys have a storm amp, so you guys can get amp damage, and then you guys can walk on the front line and then you can overwhelm them. Everyone should know what the win condition is, so you guys can all do it together. Alright, and then step 2, you want to decide your first engage. And it doesn't really have to be an engage per se, it just wants to be like your starting point. So like an example would be your Venom dives first, so you can take all the pressure and put it on the Venom, who has like 1,500 HP if he uses his abilities right. And then the Spider-Man and the Magic, who are both pretty squishy, can go in and do the damage while everyone's looking at the Venom, you know? Another example could be like the Doctor Strange walks through the choke, so that way all the focus is on the Doctor Strange, so you guys can like shoot at the off angles. Or while the Doctor Strange is walking up and Spider-Man has that distraction, he can go and jump on the back line. But you do need something to start your first engage. You need to walk in with that as your plan. If you just randomly engage, you guys are going to end up losing the fight because the first few seconds often decide the fight. A coordinated engage is obviously so much stronger than 5 separated ones. Okay, so step 3 is to plan around your cooldowns. So like if you guys are looking to open with a strange ult, you guys need to ask yourself, okay, what cooldowns matter? Because what if they have a Luna Snow on the enemy team and that Luna Snow freezes you? Or what if they have an Invis and the Invis pushes that strange ult away? So like you need to be thinking about these cooldowns and you need to be playing around them. So maybe instead you say, okay, let's bait out this cooldown. Then once I see this cooldown, let's start walking forward and then we could strange ult and then we could win. So a couple of more examples are like Doctor Strange's shield. If you know that they have that shield up, that gives them a couple of seconds of free time while you guys are Punisher ulting. So maybe you want to focus the shield and break the shield first, so then you guys have an easier Punisher ult. Or maybe you should wait until the Venom dives your team, stay alive during the dive, and now that the Venom's not going to be there, then you guys can push up while their dive is recovering their cooldowns. Or another example is the enemy Groot uses all of his walls, so now your team is able to freely walk forward and the Groot can't do any more cutting off your team because he already used all of his walls and they're on cooldowns. So the cooldowns create you guys the opportunities for you to push. So step 4 is actually going to be for you to position before the fight. You don't want to wait until the combat actually starts. You already want to know where you should be standing, where is your escape, who are you protecting, who is your main target. The fight planning begins before anyone even fires a shot. You should be already set up before people even shoot, or you should be shooting and positioning to that before your team fully engages in. If you're not there with your team when you guys engage, then you're probably the one that's throwing because you're not there to help your team. You were not set up before the fight starts. So you're probably the reason why you're throwing. All right, the last and final step for this fight planning is to make sure that you have a backup plan, because no plan is ever gonna work perfectly. No plan is ever gonna work perfectly. So you should ask, what if our first plan doesn't work? So like, for example, if you guys are gonna walk together as a team and push the point, but the enemy team has a Spider-Man, you guys can't just freely do that. So now your goal would be, okay, let's get this Spider-Man off of my back line, and then we can walk up forward. You always need to have a backup plan. An even better example is if the enemy survives your guys' ultimate combo, you guys need to disengage, wait for cooldowns, and then you can push up and fight again. This is all about adapting. Changing plans isn't like a failure thing, it's the smart decision making. It's not supposed to make you feel bad because your plan didn't work the first time. Having a backup plan is actually the smarter play, and you'll end up winning more games. This kind of ties into the exit strategies thing that we were talking about in the beginning. One of the biggest mistakes that I actually see a lot of low rank players do is they never plan how to go in, or never even plan how to get out. You should ask yourself that if this goes badly, how should we leave? Like an example, like you need to be thinking about, okay, if I fail this engage, I need to be able to retreat to cover, or I need to be able to save my movement abilities so I can leave. I need to fall back to teammates, give the objective, or I need to just save my ultimates for next fight. You just need to have an exit strategy. Sometimes surviving is the best play. You don't need to always commit completely. You just need to have that exit strategy to get out, reset, and then go back in. Whew, okay, let me take a deep breath. I'm getting super worked up like I'm in an esports game or something. All right. So now let's move on to the real fight examples. So this is going to be a little bit more complex, so just try to stay with me. So your team is Venom, Cap, Spider-Man, Psylocke, Luna Snow, and Mantis. The fight plan is going to be Venom's going to go in first, and then the Cap's going to shortly follow, and then Spider-Man and Psylocke are going to wait 1 second, and then they're going to go in. So this way, your Venom and Cap can take all the pressure from the enemy team, and then the Spider-Man and Psylocke can follow up on the people that the Cap and the Venom are diving. And your plan is that your supports stay alive, they can heal you and damage boost you as you guys go in, and everyone is going to focus the enemy Luna Snow, and then the fight ends. Like, the Luna Snow is just going to blow up, she's just going to die before the enemy team can even react. So the main thing that I want to say with this example is that everyone knew their job before the fight started, so it succeeded. Everyone knew what they were planning on doing, so it all worked out in the end. Okay, the last good example that I have for you guys is your team is on Doctor Strange, Magneto, Punisher, Hawkeye, Rocket, and Atom, so you guys are very poke-heavy comp. So now your fight plan is to hold the high ground, and then everyone's going to pressure the choke, and then you're going to wait out for the enemy cooldowns, and then you guys are going to push together and overwhelm the enemy team because you guys are up on cooldowns and sustain damage. So the lesson that I want to point out here, or the note that I want to point out here, is that the plan wasn't to just rush, it was to force the enemy into a bad fight, aka where they had no cooldowns, and then they were going to fight the enemy team so you guys have the probability of winning. So I got a bad example now. The fight starts and nobody knows a target to pick. The tank dives, the supports stay back, the DPS flank from opposite sides, and everyone's fighting their own individual battles, and then the enemy team who actually has the plan is going to win easily. So the main thing I want to point out here, like the lesson of this example, is that 5 good players without a plan will eventually lose to the 5 average players with a plan. This is why planning is so important, and why talking to your team is so important, because with a good plan, you guys will beat a better team than you. So for my last final example, this one's another bad example. It's Spider-Man goes in and dives immediately, but the Venom wasn't ready. The supports can just see him swing in, and then the Spider-Man dies alone, and then the fight just becomes a 5v6, so now you guys are probable to lose. So a good plan executed together beats a great idea that is executed alone. Just because the Spider-Man went in on the enemy team, and it was a great idea to go in on the enemy supports, it's not as good as when the Venom goes on the enemy supports and then the Spider-Man follows up. So a couple of common mistakes are when you go in and you have no plan, and another one is everyone engages differently. Maybe it could be you guys ignoring the enemy team's cooldowns. Maybe it's changing targets constantly. Maybe you have no escape route. Maybe it's even overcommitting after losing a teammate. These are all common mistakes. Please do not do these. All right, we're almost done. So I just want you to have a couple of questions to ask yourself while you're in the game. It's how do we win? Who starts the fight? Who is our first target? What cooldowns are we waiting for? And if this goes badly, what is our backup plan? You always need to have that backup plan. All right, so for your homework, before every team fight, all you have to do is literally just take 2 seconds and mentally answer, how are we going to win this? Who is going to start the fight? How do we attack? Where do I stand? If you can answer even just those simple questions before the fight begins, you'll start making much better decisions during the fight, and it's going to be so much clearer what you should be doing. Alright, so now that we know how to plan a fight, the next step is understanding the cooldown economy. How to track important abilities and recognize the exact moments when the enemy is vulnerable. Sometimes one wasted cooldown is all it takes to win a key fight. So the next lesson is going to be Cooldown Economy, which talks about tracking the important cooldowns and creating windows of opportunity. Alright guys, so that's actually going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Yo, whoever said try not to follow your notes too much, or like I'm being too monotone, you guys are so right. Like I didn't even realize how boring I was being until I went back and I watched my own video and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like pathetic. But anyways, I'm getting super worked up about this, even though I'm just making the video. I don't know, it just gets me like fired up talking about this, because I know how I was in my esports league and how I was trying to like coach other people and help other people out. So yeah, anyways, enough about that. I got a couple of things I want to talk about. So I have been requested to make a video, maybe talking about every character sub role, or even doing some hero guides. So I'll be working on those. I've already started on a couple of the hero guides. I'm working on the character sub roles as well. So just give me some time to do that. It's going to take a long time, by the way. I'm like putting a lot of effort into this. And now after this video, I'm not going to try to make it as much as boring or anything. And yeah, so let me know if you guys want to see more gameplay or the slideshow. I did change it up in this lesson, as you can see. So yeah, just let me know what you guys kind of like. And yeah, so now that we're moving on to lesson 11, because this was lesson 10, we're a third the way done with the series, which is crazy. I honestly didn't even think that I was going to even make it this far, but here we are, you know? So also, I have a couple more notes. I'm still figuring out this whole YouTube thing. I don't even know if I'm responding to all your guys' comments. I'm really sorry if I'm missing them. I'm trying to respond to them. Thank you guys so much for like commenting and telling me what I should be doing. It's literally because of you guys that these videos are turning out better and I'm becoming a better editor. Like me doing these videos where I'm just kind of like yapping through it, I can get through these so much faster than when I'm doing that whole slideshow thing and I have all of that up. That takes me a lot longer to edit. Like this video right now, I'm probably like an hour and 15 minutes in, and it's a 15-minute video, so I'm cruising. whereas typically it would take me like 3 hours to get done with the video. So yeah, and then if you guys want me to post my comp games, let me know if you want me to do that as well. I play a lot of Wolf, but I also fill, so let me know what kind of games you would want to watch. If you want to watch a tank a game, a support game, a Wolverine game, a dive game, whatever you want. And then yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, please drop a like, please drop a comment. I love seeing your guys' comments. Seriously, it makes my day. I was genuinely laughing so much when you said I'm being boring. Yeah, so please drop a comment. Even a sub would be amazing. That would help me out a lot. So anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.